On today's Mega News, we got an extended Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection trailer on the Capcom Online program for TGS today, and for the first time we have English footage, folks. In addition, we got things like the Wave command cards confirmed for Star Force 2, remixed soundtracks that you can listen to in-game while you're playing, and a whole buttload of quality of life features, even ones that didn't exist in the Bound-Network Legacy Collection. We're going to be covering all of that and more on today's Mega News. Let's rock! Welcome to your Star Force Legacy Collection News Roundup for September 24th, 2025. Capcom just had their pre-show for TGS, which of course included the collection, with an extended trailer showing a bit more, especially the debut for English footage that we didn't have before. Now, if only they had this English footage ready to go for the Nintendo Direct last week, but as we'll see in a bit, it does look like the English localization is coming in kinda hot. It's definitely still a work in progress. And then after the extended trailer was posted, Rockman Unity took to Twitter to reveal even more information that wasn't there in the trailers, which basically boils down to a bunch of setting screens and a ton of quality of life features, even ones we didn't expect. So how this video is going to go is we'll start with the extended trailer, go frame by frame and talk about my findings there. After that, we'll head on over to Twitter to look at what Rockman Unity had to share. Sound good? Alright, let's go. Well, the first thing that's going to hit you in the face is, holy cow, English footage! Finally! And now we can officially find out if they did fix the line spacing in Star Force 1. The answer? Yeah, basically they did. The font looks normal now compared to what was in the original game. But there's a little caveat to that because you're not necessarily going to get more text in a single text box. It's still the same amount of text, just it looks a little bit better. And that means when you got more than one sentence on screen at a time, there's a ton of negative space there that's just asking to be filled, but they never will be. Unfortunate, but expected, unless Capcom does fix this later, because like I said, the localization still seems to be a little bit of a work in progress. But as for the script itself, nothing has changed so far. It's exactly the same as the original. As we go through a few transitions here, I did notice that there is some new outline colors that I didn't notice before for the borders on the screens. In total, I've seen black, red, and blue outlines. Maybe there's a way to set the color yourself, or maybe it's dynamic. It's hard to say at this point. Next up, for the first time, we get to see Star Force 3 footage in the collection. Oh heck yeah. And check out the glorious HD artwork for omega-xis on the Hunter VG screen. That's so good. Are you ready for another mind-blown moment? As we head on over to the folder screen, we realize that not only are the card names fully spelled out, they even put a space where Plasma Gun is, unlike in the original where it's spaced together, but the descriptions too. They're fully spelled out, full sentences, no abbreviations. You can actually read fully what the cards do now. And that right there is a huge game changer, because this was a problem that spanned all the way back to the Bound-Network series, with some chip descriptions not making a whole lot of sense because, well, they only had so many characters to work with. And that wasn't changed for the Bound-Network Legacy Collection, probably because the original games were written in assembly, so you can't really do many edits there, at least it would be very difficult to. But Star Force has the benefit of not being an assembly, so that means they can go in and make changes that they couldn't before, such as expanding the character limit and allowing for more text to be displayed at a time. And we are really seeing the benefits of that here in the card folder screen alone. Oh, also, we get to see the HD card artwork here in the folder screen too. Again, a feature I so wish was in the Bound-Network Legacy Collection as well. But at least for Star Force we got it, finally. I'm so happy about that. Next, they show us two examples of screen layouts. Layout 1 has the secondary screen on the corner, so tiny that you can almost not read it. And then layout 2 displays both of the screens at an equal size. And as we will see later, if you don't like the positioning that you see here, you should be able to adjust that, so maybe for example you can have them displayed horizontally across. Now here comes the juicy stuff. We get our first look at the assist features in the game. On Nintendo Switch, by pressing the ZR trigger, you can activate a toggle which activates some assist features such as a faster running speed, and as we'll see later, you can adjust the encounter rate, even turn it off completely. Star Force 2 fans rejoice! Furthermore, Buster Max makes a return thanks to a toggle that allows you to increase your Buster attack power by at most 500%. More on that later. Also, oh hey, the DS constellation is still there in the background. That's cool. And the next screen with the Star Force 2 battle against Rogue, I would like to point out that there's Japanese voices. Sounds like the original ones from the Japanese version of Star Force 2, but remember, the English versions actually cut those voices. The big question is, if this is a US trailer, are they basically saying that we're not going to be getting dubbed voices for the collection? Well, think again. If we take a look at the Capcom Online Program version of the trailer, we can see that there's Japanese text there. So yeah, no, this is actually Japanese footage. So don't worry, dubbed voices are not deconfirmed just yet. After all, like I said, the English localization still seems to be a work in progress, so maybe that's why they did it this way. Maybe dubbed voices aren't ready yet if they are going to be a thing. Anyway, at this part of the trailer, they are confirming that we're going to have event cards and other things like the Wave Command cards that were exclusive to events or toys in this collection. Specifically, they are showing off the King Grandeur event battle card from Star Force 2 and all of its HD glory. Coming up next, we got an English look at the network menu for online play. Now, I covered most of this in the previous analysis, so I won't tread too much of the same waters here, but as a recap, we have casual match, ranked match, edit decks, brother lists, and trading. Also, that green icon on the top left is indeed quick match, just like we theorized before. It's still unknown what exactly it's about because there is no description at all when they hover over it, but we can probably guess that it'll have some set parameters so that you could hop into a match real quick without having to set the rules. And that actually may make it easier to find players because back in the Bound Network Legacy Collection you had to set rules every time, and if your rules didn't match with other players, you were not going to find anybody, so maybe quick match will be the way to go, especially if the online dies off again. And then there's that versus screen again, where once again we see Mega Man Star Force 1 versus Mega Man Star Force 3. So yeah, I wasn't crazy. It really is 1 versus 3. I still kinda doubt they're gonna actually combine the different PvPs together. Noise versus Star Force forms? I'm sorry Star Force 1, you're getting absolutely cooked. It's probably not that crazy. Maybe you just select what game you want to play and it selects on a roulette or something like that, like we said before. But it's hard to say right now. It would be hilariously funny if they actually did combine the PvPs though. Okay, here's something new. We got the win screen for the PvP matches. On the results screen, we do notice that the rank and the battle points are counted separately. So clearly battle points are meant to be a currency for something. What that is exactly, I have no idea. My best guess is cosmetics for your profile because we did see the banners on each of the profile cards with like different artwork of Sonya and Luna, so maybe that's what you spend it on. Unless there's a special battle card trader inside the games that you can use these for, kind of like the crossover traders in Bound Networks 5 and 6, but that remains to be seen. Meanwhile, here's an English look at the brother list. And the trailer does confirm that it's basically like I thought it was. After you do a match with somebody, you have the chance to register them on your brother list, and from there you can choose to form a brother band with them. So it might be that you can register 100 people, but obviously you're not going to get link power from all of them, so you're probably only going to be able to pick 6 at a time for your in-game brother bands. I think that would make the most sense. Otherwise, the menus are exactly as I detailed before. You got the date that you connected with them, and then their stats, their library completion, the amount of time they played the game, their level, what version they are, and so on. And then the last thing that we learned from the trailer is that we're gonna have remixed music that you can indeed listen to inside of the music gallery itself. Unlike the Battle Network Legacy Collection, where most of the new tracks were exclusive to the soundtrack CD that you got separately, which was kinda dumb. But over here in Star Force, they are saying that you can listen to all the new remixes inside the music gallery. Not only that, but you can even listen to these tracks in-game as you're playing. That's right, arranged tracks for inside the game. How cool is that? It's probably not going to be every track in the OSTs because that's a lot of tracks. But so far, we do have the 3 main themes for all 3 games confirmed, as well as Ride On from Star Force 1. Basically the virus battle theme. I would guess there's probably remixes for the other battle themes in the series as well, so honestly, if we just get remixes for the main title themes and the battle themes, that's enough for me. That's pretty cool. Especially getting to play the games to those tunes. Alright, we're done with the trailer, but not done with this analysis just yet. Because after the show, Rockman UD posted a whole bunch of other information about the collection. Let's hop on over to Twitter X and see what they had to say. First up, the assist features. Like I said before, by pressing ZR, you can increase your dash speed, as well as adjust the encounter rate, even set it to 0 if you want to. Hilariously, Rockman UD even called out the fact that the original Star Force 2 game had an encounter rate that was way too dang high. You were just running into viruses every few steps, I swear. But now, Star Force 2 fans, you are vindicated because now you can turn that off and move on with your life. With this quality of life feature alone, Star Force 2 can actually be a good game. Wow! And now Star Force is the best Mega Man series of them all. The next tweet is another juicy one because now we're going to see the additional quality of life features. As I said before, Buster Max is back. There's a toggle to set your Buster's attack power, and it looks like the max is 500%. You can even reduce the damage you take. You can increase the Zenny that you obtain after battle. Oh man, Zenny grinding is now a thing of the past? That's crazy. Not even BNLC had this. You can also set the game to Battle Network 1 mode where you recover to full HP after every battle. You can make it so you can always escape from a battle. And this last option is especially cool. There is a toggle to make the EX bosses display as a sprite on the overworld map so you know exactly where they are and so you don't accidentally run into them when you're unprepared. Star Force 2 already did this actually, but to have this in all of the games now, that is really cool. Third is a closer look at the screen layout settings. We can see right now it's set to top and bottom screen. And here there are sliders to adjust the screen ratio, so basically how big you want the main screen in comparison to the secondary screen. The screen scaling speed, which I think this means the speed at which the screens resize themselves when you're in battle. And lastly, the screen position adjustment. So you got a lot of freedom there to adjust both the position and also the size of the screen, so that's really nice. Alright, here's a big one. Before TGS, Capcom revealed the controls for the Legacy Collection, and curiously we found a free camera toggle on the right stick. What is that all about? Well, here's our first look at it. We can see arrows on each side of the screen, where I would assume you can pan the camera around similar to the Liberation missions in Mega Man Battle Network 5. And then there's some buttons on the bottom right corner that may tell us a little bit more. With some help from Clerical Arya and Ojai Lily, we determined that these buttons say Map Confirmation, Return to Game, and Reset Camera. Map Confirmation is probably the biggest one here. Like, is there a map now? At least I don't remember there being area maps in the original game, but that could be interesting. Presumably you would be able to toggle on and off this feature with the R3 stick by just clicking it in, but otherwise, yeah, free camera works essentially like we thought it would. Now you can cheat the puzzles in the final dungeons of Star Force 1, hooray! Alright, this is our final screen to analyze. The Wave Command cards are back for Mega Man Star Force 2, and thankfully, all these bonus cards, as they call them, will be displayed on a menu that you can just go through and select which one you want at any time. Essentially, think of this as the patch cards from Battle.Network Legacy Collection. It's the same type of thing. So our first category that we can see is the tribe attack cards for each of the 3 tribes from Star Force 2. And then the second category here is the tribe king cards. We're pretty sure that these are the cards that would allow you to start a battle with any one of the tribes. And the card that shows all 3 of the tribes should result in a auto tribe king at the start of battle. You know, just like in the old days when auto tribe king ruled the PvP scene. It's happening again, boys. Unless Capcom puts a toggle on online for that. And then as for that third category that you can barely see is kinda cut off, we once again asked Clerical Aria and Ojai Lily for some help there, and they derived that this is the distribution cards. So basically think the event battle cards like Lemu or King Grandeur. That's what we're thinking that section is for. So that means all the event battle cards and all the wave command cards will be on the same screen. In fact, if we look on the scroll screen over there on the right hand side, we notice that the menu is scrolled all the way to the bottom almost, which would imply that there is a ton more wave command cards where that came from up top there. So we are thinking that the vast majority of the wave command cards should make their way into the collection. However, Rockman Unity does note that not all the bonus cards are going to be included. Which ones exactly, they did not specify. It's maybe a similar situation to Battle.Network Legacy Collection where they had to ban a couple of the patch cards for online play, or maybe just some didn't make sense to be used in the collection so they removed it. It's really hard to say at this point, but hopefully nothing major was cut. A couple more fun notes before we end the analysis. First of all, check out the bottom screen during the Star Force 3 gameplay. Yep, do you see it? There's a cursor there. So if you wanted to know how they're going to handle the touchscreen functions, well, it looks like you will indeed be able to summon a cursor that will allow you to touch things. That still leaves the question of how they're going to handle the mini games, but hey, maybe we'll find out during the demo impressions coming up, at least if someone is able to make it all the way to Taurus Fire. And lastly, during the win screen during PvP, we spotted a Japanese button prompt. So yeah, English localization is kinda WIP. And really the last piece of news is the fact that Chinese, both traditional and simplified Chinese, has been confirmed for the collection because there are now Capcom Asia trailers that show off those very languages. So there you go, just like with BNLC, it looks like we're gonna have English, Japanese, and Chinese languages once again. That means we get Chinese logos that spell out Rockman in English letters. Amazing. But for the most part, that's all we got for today's Mega News on Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection. We got a lot of cool quality of life features confirmed today, as well as some answers given to our questions from the past. But there's still many more questions to be answered, like what the heck is up with all the rest of the Japanese exclusive content? And what the heck does the main menu look like? Well, maybe we'll see the main menu tomorrow when the demos are starting to be played over at TGS. Because yes, there will be a playable demo on the show floor, so more than likely, starting tomorrow, we're going to start getting some hands-on impressions from the show floor. Exciting times. And if anything comes out of those hands-on impressions, we'll be sure to tell you all about it in a video later. Oh, also there's a State of Play, a Sony PlayStation State of Play later today, but unfortunately I won't be able to attend that one live. But in case Mega Man gets announced formally for Sonic Racing or something like that, I'll be sure to do another Mega News a little bit later for that one. In other words, tomorrow. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Stay tuned to ShadowRockZX for all things Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection and Mega Man in general. And until the next one, rock on and have yourselves a wonderful time zone.